Okay, so this is the date table code, which has been shared already. And we don't need to know how to write this. It's been pre-written for us. Okay, so I got it free of charge as well from a class that I attended. Okay, and it's a code that helps you form your own date table within Power BI. A few of the uh, keywords you see here should look familiar. It says let function date table equals start date as date, end date as date, financial year start month as a number, as table, and we have I've forgotten what that is called. It's called a name. Let's then we start with day count, duration dot date. So these are all different keywords or formulas that are used to make up different dates in Power Query, M language, so to say. Now, I said this should look familiar because if we go into our Power BI, and what should look familiar is this beginning. It says let all of this, and then another let all of this in, and then in again. Okay. So all I do is I just copy everything here. Like I said, we don't need to break it down one by one and try to understand it. So we copy everything here, then we go into Power BI. Let's open our own Power BI, which is this one. Okay, there we go. So this is where we stopped the last time. Come on now, open. Okay, this is our own Power BI now. Okay, and we are looking at how to form the date table using blank query. If you observe, one of the options here is something we call blank query. So blank query is what we used to form that table. And what the name implies, blank query, that is query that is blank, that hasn't got anything in it just yet. Most of the time, the queries you have, which are the same as table, already have some steps done to them. Okay, because if we go into, let me edit this and we go into Power Query so that you see what I mean. Okay. All of these tables, we did say yesterday that all of the apply steps, the steps that each step that each function that you do is recorded under the applied steps. And apart from you seeing them as step 1, step 2, step 3 here, it is also recorded in what we call advanced editor. Okay, for example, this apply step, we can see source is the first thing there. It says let source, and then it states the source of the data, okay, the name of the table that we brought in, and the last step we did there is removed columns, which is that one. In, it's just repeating the last step in that particular last step. Okay, the same can be said for all of the tables or queries you have here. So this is no longer blank query. It's got some recording, some data recorded in it, some steps or functions, if you like, recorded in it. But when we now say blank query, okay, and we can still, get our blank query from here. It doesn't have to start from within Power BI. We can also create it from the Power Query. Because if we had started from Power BI anyway, it's still coming here it's still going to bring us here, to continue. So blank query now, I click on blank query because now I want something that has not been recorded in yet at all. And it gives me what it calls query 2. It's named it query 2. and it's blank. See, there's nothing in the source yet. Okay. Now, if I open the advanced editor of that, you see, it just says let source. There's no source in source. You know, this is as good as I don't have anything recorded in me yet. Now, this is where we are now going to place everything that we saw here. Okay. All I'll do is pick everything here. And I'm just going to do control A to pick everything and control C to copy. So I've copied all of this now. I'll come into my advanced editor that I opened. Again, I'll paste on top of this. So I'll do control A here to pick everything here because I'm going to erase and paste on this, and control V to paste everything. So all you see, you've seen in here is I'm just placing it exactly as we can see, you know, in the Power Query advanced editor. Okay. And you can see it says let function date table, you know, as table B, then it's written all the steps. So instead of us coming to form this step, form the next step, form the next step, you know, here, where it's just like you're using a shortcut to create the what you need to create. Okay, we are telling it here, insert the year number, insert the quarter, insert what the month is, using these formulas, insert day ins, and this is what formula you should use to insert that. Insert calendar quarter, you know, and so on and so on. Okay, so each of these steps, when we then click on done, yeah, when we click on done, it's just going to, and there's no syntax error has been detected. If this doesn't tick it as green, then it means there's something wrong somewhere that is not accepting. Okay, so we click done, and it brings these parameters. It says, and something changed here as well. Instead of having source, we now have function date table. It's picked that we are trying to form a date table. Now it says enter the parameters. How do you want this date table to be defined? What is the start date that you want? What is the end date? What is the financial year start month that you need? Okay. Now the start date and the end date that you use would depend on your data. Okay. Now the table that has got, let's say others have got all the dates recorded. Okay. And we have other dates. So if I say we want to look at the smallest dates here, ascending or ascending, it says 4th of July, 1996. Okay. And if I look at the last dates, it says 6th of May, 1998. Okay. You can decide just to give it a bit of allowance. You can say, okay, my start date can be 1st of January, 1996, you know, and my last days, I can take it as last day in December of 1998. Okay, so that's how to form your date table. Okay, we used other date for that. Okay, required dates and ship dates they will be properly covered if we use this particular start date and end dates that we saw here. Okay, so we go back to that query and we just decide that our start date will be 1st of January 1996. 1996. And the last date can be the last day of the 1998 year, which is 31/12/1998. Okay. And financial year for most companies would be April. Financial year start month, the first month for the financial year would normally be April. So we put 4 there and we click on invoke. And there it formed it for us. Okay. Now it's gone on to form the date from the 1st of January 1996. If you look down, it's just second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, and so on, until the last day that you stated there, the 30th of December, rather, 1998, you know. And due to the different, oh, this has now changed. Okay. Now, due to the different steps that we saw here, it says the day count. What duration? Is it 1 day interval that you want within the dates? Is it, what else should I insert? We've said insert the year number, insert the quarter, insert the month. That's how all these different other columns were formed. The year that we said insert has been inserted. The quarter that this date falls into in that year, December is normally Q4. Okay, so it's gone on to accept it. Month of the year, December is 12. Okay, it's gone on to put it there, day, so, and so on and so forth. There are some of these that you may not need. Okay, for example, financial year 99, financial year whatever, you may not need it. Anything that you don't need here, you can remove it. And this is just one of the ways that you can create your date table in Power BI. I find myself using this all the time that I make Power BI. Okay, so we can call it date table. I'm going to delete the first one we made because the date that was used here was 1st of January 2025. It's not relevant to the type of date we have within our data set. Okay, so it's safe to remove this and use the other deletes. And then we can name this date table now. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Please, can you do it again?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay. Let me close and apply this first. Then we start. Okay. Just so that I can save whatever we've done so far. Okay, so that has been loaded for us. I'm going to save that. Okay, and under home, we've looked at different ways to get data. Okay, and one of the ways to get data is using a blank query. I use blank query mostly to form a date table. You can use it to form any other table if you have access to the advanced query, advanced editor content. Okay, I'll tell you what I mean by that. Okay, so we want to form a date table from scratch, and we say, okay, let's get a query that is blank, that has nothing in it. And how do we know that there's nothing in it? How you check the content of each table is through what we call the advanced editor. Okay, and if you look at what that says, it says open the advanced editor, advanced query editing dialog to view or modify the entire text for this query. So the entire text for each of these tables is stored in each of their advanced editor. Okay, the first one, categories, the text that formed everything in that categories table is opening. That's not what I want. Okay, I'm clicking on this. Okay, now the text that formed all of the steps that got us to this point with this table. This is all of the text or the formulas or the code, if you want to call it that. It doesn't really look like code, but that's what it is. Okay, now this is not for us to write. Each time you add a step or remove a step from from your apply steps, you do a function, it just automatically gets recorded here. Okay, it's just a good thing to understand that, okay, it's saying that it's just computer language. The source of this data is, this is the name of the source. We got it from OData, Northwind, blah, 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 and so on. And it's stating the name of the table, that is categories table, okay? And again, the source name equals categories. The table we brought in was the categories table within that Northwind data. And the last step is we removed columns, which is what happened here. Okay, so this is just where Power BI records every step that you perform on your data set. Okay, now knowing that that there's somewhere where something is recorded, you can actually form a table yourself by getting a blank query. That is a query that has no step recorded in it yet, and record a series of steps that you have. Okay, now this series of steps that we have like a ready-made for us is the code that forms a date table for you, which is what all of this is. Don't bother yourself to read it line for line. Okay, just have it and use it the way that we have used it in class. And we will still be using it most of the time. Okay, and this is not the only way that you can create your date table. If you find this hard, there will be other ways that I think are simpler that we will still learn. Okay, so you go on to get that that code that you have access to, copy all of it, Control-C to copy it, or right-click and copy on it, okay? So copy it, then come into that blank advanced editor that you opened, the blank query, the advanced editor of it, and just paste whatever you copied on there, okay? So let me see if I actually copied. I did, okay? You just paste it on there, okay? And remember that we actually picked everything that we found here and copied over it, okay? And we say done. And it's gone on to bring us to this point. It's telling us that, okay, what is your start date and what is your end date? What start date and what end date do you want to work with? You give it the start date, give it the end date, whatever your financial year is at work, that yeah, for where you are building the report for. Some places you use January, others use April. April is most common. You put number 4 there for April and you invoke it. And you invoke it and it forms that, it just brings all of these different columns. Then you can look through to see, do I need quarter? Or do I want to rename anything here? Okay, this month of year, I just prefer to call it month number because that's what it is. Month of year, I'll say it's month number, okay? I'll rename that as month number, okay? And that's recorded here now, okay? I'm going to remove this sort row because we were just using the sort row to look at the start and the end of the date. So I'll take that out. Day of the month, do I need to look at things at day level? No, I don't want day of month, so I'm going to remove that. Okay, this is where you now start to check and balance and, you know, add and remove whatever is not really necessary. This date int, I don't have a clue what it is. Okay, it's just gone on to say 1996 0101. I don't need it. Okay, I'm going to remove that, you know. Month name, I think month name is fine, but rather than call it month name, I'm just gonna say month. And that's how I want it, okay? Month in calendar, okay? This month in calendar is looking at like month and year to me, okay? So it makes it makes better sense to have it as month and year for me, okay? It's named it it's given it those names because that's what was put in the code that we used. But now we are now conforming the data to what we prefer, okay? And when we finish it, we will check how that has affected the advanced query editor, quarter and year. This looks to me like quarter and year. Okay. And there are other things there I don't need. We don't need day in week. We don't need day of month. We don't need week ending. Okay, we don't need week number. We don't need all this. It's just like repeated data. In my own view, we may leave the short here. And I don't need the, oh, I didn't want that out of, I don't want to pick that one. So, and we come back and pick everything that's not needed up to here. And we can remove those. Okay. So this is more streamlined, you know, this is more, it's conforming more to what we want to see. Okay. Now we formed the data from scratch just by using a code that we already have, you know, which we don't need to understand. It's just I have it, I copy it, I paste it in. Okay. We know we have to paste it into the advanced editor.
Excuse me, please.
Yes.
Where did you get that data date from?
Which one?
The data date you copied.
Where did I get it from?
Yeah.
It was handed over to me at training.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like a template.
It's something like this. It's been created by someone and anybody can use it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So with everything that we've done with this table now, we've changed the names of some of them. We've removed most of the columns. You will see now that there will be a change in what the advanced editor now looks like. So it's saying that the source is a blank query, you know, which is this blank query function 2, okay? Hashtag date, and it's stating the start date, 1996,1,1, and then hashtag date is stating the end date. Hashtag 4 is stating the financial financial year month, beginning of that month rather, or however they say that, okay? And then they start to put all these steps. Number 2 line saying that we renamed columns, and it's stating the name, the table that was renamed. It's telling us that this formula, table.rename column, was used to change the name of this from month of year to month number, which was what we did. The same thing was done here. Table.remove column was used to rename this. Should it be saying remove column or rename column? Rename from day of months. Okay, we removed this. Was the first one was we renamed a column. The other one was we removed day of month and dating because it just doesn't make sense. And then we renamed month name to become just month. Month in calendar became month and year, you know. So it's just like saying somebody is using shorthand to write something that could have been written in plain English, really, you know. So from the source, all of these steps happened in, and after saying in, it just go on to repeat the last step, remove dot column, and that's it. This last step here, it just repeats it in the in, and that's how to read an advanced editor, and that's how to use it to create a new table. Let me quickly form something for us. Okay, let's say that
I observed that you clicked on cancel instead of done.
Because we've done it already before.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are not just redoing it. So yes, I just canceled because I don't want to change anything from what we've done already before.
Okay.
If we go back in, it's still intact. Okay.
And if we click on done, it will change things.
It doesn't. But just in case I've clicked something and done something that I may not remember, yes. So I don't want to, or just not to upset it, so to say.
Okay.
That's why I'm doing cancel. Okay. So let's look at this advanced editor in the light of, okay, because it has helped me before when I was trying to do a work and there was no way around it for a while until I remember that I can actually use the advanced editor, copy and paste what I have from the original table and just form my own. Okay. And what that means is, let's assume that I've got a report that has a table that I need in another report. And for some reason, maybe technical issue or whatever, I've not been able to get that table into my new report. What I can do is come here, if it's the categories table now, I just come here, go into its advanced editor, I'm just going to copy everything that made it up, again, I'm going to cancel because I'm not changing anything in there. I've copied, the advanced editor of categories now. Then all I'll do is go into new source, blank query, and open the advanced editor of it and just paste it over. And I click done now because I'm forming it from new now. It's not been done before. This is a new query. So I say done, and it's gone on to just do everything that was done. It's just gone on to create that same categories table for me as query 4. Then I can name it as what I want. Okay. So if you understand that is how this works, you can use it in any situation, where data is trying to outsmart you. You can also outsmart it. Okay. And it might seem like a lot now, but again, the more because this is our first report that we are trying to create, the more we interact with it, the more we'll get used to it. Okay. I'm going to delete that. I just wanted us to see that is possible. So query 4 is not needed. Right click and delete. Okay. So we've already succeeded in cleaning most of our tables. We've merged, yesterday we merged order to order details. So everything that's in order details, which is mostly product information, has now been brought into orders. Okay, so we now have the order ID, we have the, okay, we now need to be very careful just to be sure that we don't have duplicates in this. Let's look at keeping duplicates to see if we have managed to inherit some duplicates as we have done it, because I can see order ID here is no longer unique. Okay, let's click out. Okay, I want to keep duplicates. Let's see if there are duplicates. Okay. Okay, we don't have duplicates, which means no row is repeated. So we are fine. Okay, so I'll remove that step. And yeah, which means we are fine. Although we need to note that order ID is no longer unique to each table anymore. And that's because of the way we brought in the products information from here into the orders. But that shouldn't disturb our work. We've also talked about primary key and a foreign key. Okay. Regions, we haven't done any work on region. I see region ID and region description, and then territories. Okay. And if let's expand territories and see. Okay, territories has got territory ID, territory description, region ID, region employees. I don't think that's going to really do any much. Again, I've put business requirement in in the platform for us to know what we are really dealing with. I don't think we've got anything to analyze by region at all. Okay. Shippers, let's see what's happening with shippers. Okay.
We might look at products.
Yeah.
And profitability per product and from which region.
Okay, so we should
yes.
So I don't want to expand territories because it complicates things. So I'm thinking we remove these territories and just use the region description we have here. Region ID and Eastern, Western, Northern, Southern.
Yes.
Okay. Shippers, we can remove their phone number. And it's got a whole other table, which we already have here. So I'll take that out as well. Now, shipper ID is the same as what we have in the others where it says ship via. This one. So we might need to change that to shipper ID. How is it said here? So that we have a consistency. I don't know why they put ship via somewhere and shipper ID somewhere else for the same thing. Okay, so those are the things that we should watch out for so that we don't confuse ourselves as we do the work. Okay, so that shipper ID is better like that. Okay, what else? So we have the company name and that, and then the suppliers. Okay, we have supplier ID, the company name, the contact's name, are the contact title, and then the address. So we'll remove everything, address and postcode from these suppliers. The problem of region and region LAMI Victoria is still existing. Okay. But I won't let that debar us from proceeding just yet. Just looking at columns that we would not need to, so take them out. We take products out because we have a whole product table, as well. I'm going to leave region alone for now. Then we have the customers table, the customer ID, the company name, the contact name, contact title, address. Let's take the addresses out. We leave region alone, just really sensitive information is what we are going to remove. Okay, and with customer demographics, I'll take that out, and I'll take that out as well. Let's keep it as simple as possible. We can start complicating things.
Why are we taking customer demographics out?
Because it's a whole table on its own.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I believe it's going to just make our analysis more complex than it needs to be.
Okay.
Yeah. These are first learning. Let's keep it as simple as possible. And as we gain more muscle, we can start complicating things more for ourselves. So we have cleaned to a good extent employees. I thought we removed, oh no, we didn't. We left it alone. Okay. To a huge extent, we have cleaned this table. Region is yet to be completely sorted, only because the region information I have where there are regions, WA, okay, it's not really, there's no correlation with what I have with Western. There's nothing like WA in region table itself, okay? Maybe let's look at what if I expand territories. Let's see if that is going to help us in any way at all. I doubt it, but let's just see. I'll remove region ID because it's already here and just bring these in and see. Let's see what we have. Wow. Okay. region description, territory ID, Westboro. Is this of any help at all? You see how
Nothing referring to WA,
at all,
from what I
at
can see.
all. Exactly. And if I still expand this, you see, it's just a repetition of what we started with, that is in this one. Okay, so that wasn't helpful. Okay, we may scrap, yeah, we may have to scrap analysis at region level because the data set is not giving us enough to go with. And I don't want us to get stuck trying to figure that out. There's still the actual, the really juicy part of the work to do. Okay, so I think to a good extent, our data is ready to be loaded. I'm going to close the class in a second. Okay. So next we'll be looking at how the relationships get formed. Okay. Yeah, we have all the dates. We have and we know that our dates is the what's it called? We can change this to text. The data types are fine for everyone. Okay, customer ID is fine. Okay, we've removed sensitive data. Now we can confidently close and apply all the changes that have been done already. And tomorrow, by God's grace, we'll see what should be your next step after cleaning and ensuring your data is of high quality, ready for the report you are about to build. When you load it into Power BI, first you want to save it, save all of that hard work. Power BI does not have autosave. So you need to constantly click on save or come to file if you are not sure that it's saving, and save properly so that if anything happens, you don't lose your work. Okay. And right now we are on the report view of Power BI. This first wise man here is called report view. And that's where you have your Canva and all of this interface. Then we have the table view, where you can view each of the table as a table, and you see that when you come onto the table view, what you have here, the button you have on top, sort of changed. See, we have as much as possible like this here, but when you're on the table view, that's changed, and then we have the model view where relationships are being formed. We'll talk more about the relationships, different types of relationship, and automatically Power BI has formed this relationship for us, but sometimes it may not completely be what you want that it has done. How do you ensure, that you actually have the right tables joined to one another? That's what we'll be looking at tomorrow, before we then start to maybe put little calculations in, look at how to create measures, calculated columns if necessary, and then we can start visualizing and analyzing. But that's all we have room for today. Let me pause the recording. Do we have any question at all from what we've done today? We've looked at advanced editor quite in full view, how to create different tables, especially date table with it. And we're not limited to that method of creating date table. We'll see how we can use what we call DAX, D-A-X, which is the language of Power BI. The formulas or the calculations in Power BI are called DAX. Data analysis expression, DAX, X for xylophone. Okay, so how we start to build little DAX calculations in calculations that are not complicated at all, and how we start to use them. I think we are getting nearer to the exciting part. If there are no questions, let's meet up tomorrow again. Same time, earlier than today, obviously. But yeah, we'll start at our normal time too. Tomorrow, by God's grace. Today, it was mommy duty that called. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much. So we have 3 recordings now.
Yes,
Okay,
we've
please.
got 2 uploaded, and
Yes, and
when
this
I'll
one too
put this
will be
to-
uploaded
yeah.
later.
Yes, I'll put that.
Thank
I'll
you.
do it now when we
Thank
come.
you so much.
You're welcome, man. Have a good
Thank
evening,
you.
everyone. Good night.
Right.
Good night.
Good night.